Let's go ahead with Arnav. Arnav, 2 questions for Samarth. Arnav, go ahead. Yeah. You want to adjust your, right there. Okay.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, click the present button and it will come up. Yeah, right there. It's perfect.
That was perfect?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my topic is investigating the role of the gut microbiome on MS progression. My name is Arnav, and I'm from Vista Del Lago High School in Folsom, California. Okay, so I want to talk about multiple sclerosis. So multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease where our own immune system attacks our cells, specifically the myelin sheath covering our nerve cells and fibers. Some of the symptoms include motor dysfunction, impairment, which make it very detrimental on the well-being of patients, of those who are diagnosed with this disease. So to combat MS and find a unique solution, I wanted to focus on something unique and different. I wanted to solve the issue of MS through a different way. Instead of focusing on our DNA or the proteins and cells involved in MS, I decided to do my research paper on the gut microbiome and how it affects MS. The gut microbiome, through its diverse microbes, in fact, directly influence our immune system and its inflammatory responses. So I wanted to research the role of the gut microbiome and how we can find a cost-effective therapeutic way to treat MS. So for my literary review, so for my first source by De Gradola et al. 2016, this source gave me a good understanding of dysbiosis in not only MS, but a variety of inflammatory diseases, which are all in common with MS. Inflammatory diseases, where immune responses are harmful to, which immune responses are harmful to us. Dysbiosis is the uneven composition of good and harmful bacteria in our body. This bacteria is connected with not only creating beneficial proteins, but regulating immune response, which could be correlated with the immune responses in MS in a connection with our brain called the gut-brain axis. So in my second source, I got a deeper understanding of specific dysbiosis patterns in MS. Characteristics of MS is inflammation. So when our gut experiences dysbiosis, problems occur such as inflammation, the neurological disease getting worse, and increased oxidative stress on cells. A reactive oxygen species, or ROS, is beneficial, but sometimes harmful. When there's excess ROS caused by pathogenic bacteria, it can worsen inflammation in MS patients. In fact, inflammation cell death can be the result of the overproduction of inflammation cytokines caused by ROS. So during dysbiosis, these pathogenic bacteria exacerbate the effects of MS. So not only are there pathogenic bacteria that affect immune responses, but there are beneficial bacteria that could play a role in treating MS. Some bacteria like Lactobacillus rhamnis and Clostridium can help calm down inflammation, which could be a key player for therapeutic strategies to overcome MS. So in my third source, I learned about gut dysbiosis and its effect on different stages of MS. There are 4 different stages of MS: clinically isolated syndrome, relapsing remitting MS, secondary progressive MS, and finally, primary progressive MS. I found out that there are different stages of MS with different variations of dysbiosis. In relapsing remitting MS, patients have lower levels of gut microbes responsible for producing short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate and propionate, which help lower inflammation, corresponding with the inflammation present in MS. In contrast, people with secondary progressive MS with far more neurological damage than relapsing remitting MS have microbes relating to DNA repair, probably corresponding due to the inflammatory response in MS, which damages our cells. This is significant because if we can directly influence the production of some of these bacterial bacteria in our gut, halting inflammation, we can create stage-specific targeted microbial treatment for patients. So for my methodology, uh, I just analyzed literature review articles and finding specific dysbiosis patterns corresponding to specific stages of MS, so we can find potential biomarkers and potential unique ways to treat MS. And some of the implications for treatments I hope that we can do one day is focusing on the gut microbiome through diet changes, probiotics, which directly influence what proteins that the gut produces, which can offer a new therapeutic way for MS, and not only MS, but also other autoimmune diseases. And by profiling and targeting specific microbial compositions of individuals with MS, these treatments could be tailored towards a specific person with their specific micro needs. So in conclusion, I got an insight into connections between dysbiosis patterns in the gut and MS, and not only MS, but other autoimmune diseases. I I identified I got to identify different microbial patterns in different stages of MS, which is significant as it can lead to a more precise and different way to treat MS. And some of the limitations I had were some of the research articles were specific to a certain sample size and like population, which it can't really apply to like the whole like everyone. So that was one limitation. And like another limitation was that microbiome research is it's a new field of medicine, and it's not fully understood the fully direct correlation between the microbiome and MS. So these are some limitations. And thank you. So I'm just gonna talk about my experience at Gifted Gabber. So I enjoyed before this, I thought this research thing was gonna be hard. I kind of didn't want to do it at first, but Professor Varkey, he gave me a good experience. He taught me new things I never even knew. I fell in love with research, learning about science, learning about medicine, and learning about the fact that I can make a difference through my own work, which I never knew I could do. That was really fun, really cool. And another thing I liked about Professor Virgil was that he never left me in the dust. He always helped me out when I needed him. There was also any times I was stuck, he helped me, and he taught me different ways to write things, and I thought it was really helpful. And I really enjoyed this program, and I hope to do it again. Thank you. Uh,
Awesome work, Arnav. Yeah, you can stop sharing. Dr. Varkey,
yeah,
a
one
question
sec.
for Arnav.
Yeah, good job, Arnav. Like I also enjoyed the one-to-one sessions that we had. I know that you had like several questions, and uh, like I see that you have really gone deep into um what MS is and how like what blood test biases does to MS. So just a question for you, like were you able to look into any clinical trials that might be going on to treat
Uh,
MS through gut
yeah,
dysbiosis? Yeah.
yeah, I have. I've found specific trials. related with dysbiosis and MS, and since we can't directly correlate it, I found like specific bacteria which influence inflammation. So if we could potentially target it to potentially find a direct correlation between them, I feel like we can target MS and maybe find a potential solution for it.
Okay, very good. Good job.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing my screen. One sec.
That's okay. I'll share so that it'll work.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.